Remember, this project does utilize a sharp object, so please use extreme caution when you're dealing with any kind of sharp objects. Children, make sure you have your parent or adult guardian's consent and supervision when attempting to use any sharp objects on a project. Adults also, be mature, be safe. Thank you.
What's up, friends? Kevin here, Tattoo Toy Hunter, and today I'm going to be doing my first ever diorama build. I want to give a shout out to my buddy Scooter. He's one half of the amazing YouTube channel Funko J, and that is mainly Funko related, collectors, toy related video channel content, but he is very nifty with artistic stuff, creating, and he recently did a video just for me to show me how to build your own diorama. So I'm going to take the skills that he gave me in that first video and apply them today to my very first attempt at a diorama, basically a wall. Like, what I want to do is the front of a building, sort of brickish, concrete and brickish. So we'll see how that goes. We're gonna head into my local Hobby Lobby right now and try to pick up all the items that he showed me on his video so that I can attempt this endeavor. So I'll see you inside. Pew, 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 pew. Alrighty, so we're gonna make our way inside Hobby Lobby and let's look for our items. Alright, my friends, so I'm inside the Hobby Lobby here in my hometown, and today I'm picking up some supplies to make my very first diorama. I want to give a shout out to my buddy Scooter, which is one half of the YouTube channel Funko J, for doing a video just for me, a how-to video, so I'm going to give it a shot on my own today. So let's go pick up all the supplies and then get back home and start working on it. Alright, so here's all the acrylic paints, and as you see we got 30% off, so that's a great deal. I think I'm looking for like a gray and some brick red, because I want to do a little concrete strip in my mind on the bottom, and then some kind of red brick colors. And you can see they have a ton of mattes and glossies and glitteries and everything you can think of. As you see, there's aisles and aisles of it, so that'll be the first thing we pick up. Also, we have some little accessories that can go with your diorama, of course. Chairs and tables and beds and signs and anything you can think of. So I don't want to get too detailed the first time around. This one's going to be more just getting it made to start. So maybe a door or window perhaps. But there's all kinds of different things. So that'll be the next thing that we pick up. Okay, also we're going to need an X-Acto knife or something to score or cut into our foam board. So they have all kinds of options here. I do believe I already have one, but just want to take a look and see what they have to offer here, if anything's better for the project. Plus we got to stay money conscious also. We don't want to go too crazy on it. So these are the X-Acto knives. Hobby Lobby also has greenery, so if you want to do like the outside of a building or some kind of nature scene, there's moss, there's trees, little broccolis, just about anything you can think of. So Hobby Lobby is a good place to find most of this. Again, some of the prices are a little up there, but Hobby Lobby's really good about always having discount specials, so make sure to check that out every time you come in. You may be able to get something a lot less. Alright, and last but not least, you have to pick up a foam board. There's different width thicknesses of them and lengths and heights, so basically you can pick what you want depending on what your project is. I'm going to get a large, thicker foam board, and these are approximately $5, so that's not terrible considering it's the whole diorama piece. And as you can see, there's all kinds of colors, so if you have something in specific as far as your project needs to be, Hobby Lobby has a lot of that. I'm not getting paid by Hobby Lobby, but I just find it very convenient that everything's here. So we're going to take a foam board. Alright, so we paid for our items. All we got to do now is head home and start our project. Okay, my friends, so I'm at home now, and here is all the items I'm going to be using for this project. I have a large 24 by 30 foam board that I picked up. It's a 1/4 inch thickness. Also to the left, you'll see I have a 3-foot ruler so I can make long straight lines when I'm doing the brick design.
I have my acrylic paints, which is white, black, gray, and 2 different reds for the brick color. I have a triangle ruler so I can get everything the links of each brick kind of in order. I also have multi-brush sizes, that way I can get the larger project painted when I'm doing larger pieces. Also, I purchased a door from Hobby Lobby, so this project will have a working door on it. I'll probably give that some type of stain color. And on the bottom there, you see I have a pencil so I can draw out my design, and I also have a box cutter. Now that is a razor blade in it, so please everyone, make sure you practice knife safety. Everyone needs to practice knife safety. This is meant for mature adults. If a child is going to participate in anything like this, I strongly advise you get consent, permission from an adult figure, guardian, or parent, and have them actually participate with you so they can watch over you. Please be safe. I don't want anyone getting hurt. So, having said all that, we're going to start our project. The first thing I'm going to do is use my foam board and my ruler and pencil, and I'm going to draw out the patterns I want. I want the first 3 or 4 inches from the bottom to bottom up to be just a solid, like a cement part of the wall. And then after that, when the cement ends 3 or 4 inches up, the rest of the way will be the brick pattern. So we're going to draw that out. I'm not going to be too specific, like too detailed about getting everything straight. I want it to be kind of rough looking, so let's go ahead and start that. Alright, so the first thing I did is I measured off 2 inches from the bottom to the top using my triangle ruler. Got my 2-inch mark, both sides 2 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up, line it up right on the 2-inch mark, and then I'm going to go across and make a straight line. Okay, so then you see the ruler and you see the straight line. This is going to represent the concrete or cement part, and then from this line on is going to be brick wall, but the bottom will be cement. I want it to look kind of like old cement, so I'm actually going to come in here and draw out like cracks in a few places. Okay, as you saw, I just kind of drew out cracks, so we'll see how that turns out. I will do the same method. I'm going to go over it again and kind of give it push into the board a little, so it's got a little trench where the line is. And then we'll end up doing a little black wash over all the lines once we're complete with the brick design. So we're going to draw lines all the way up, and they will be parallel to each other all the way to the top of the board, as you can see. And then we'll go in and do the left and right side of each brick, so it'll be somewhat of a little bit of... And then at the end, after we do all that, we'll actually draw out the door shape so we can cut that out towards the end. I'm not really worried about cutting it until right before I'm going to paint. So let's go ahead and start doing the bricks. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm just making straight lines all the way across, and these are going to be the levels of the bricks stacked on top of each other. Once we get that done, I'll come and do small lines using my triangle. Got some of the board. Using my triangle there. Oh, it's not gonna let go. Okay, yeah, we'll do small lines, offset each level all the way to the top so that you can start seeing the actual bricks form. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna keep doing my lines up, and then we'll start the up and down vertical lines. Okay, so as you see here, we finished the lines all the way to the top, and now we're doing offset lines. So here's one brick, and they're gonna look like steps when we're done. You can see they're alternating like that all the way up to the top. That's gonna create our big brick grid. Basically, you can see I made a couple of little mistakes there and there, but that's gonna look good because bricks aren't ever perfect, as we learned from Scooter and from all the other amazing diorama builders that are on YouTube. So definitely very excited how it's starting to turn out. I'm gonna go ahead and continue with these offset vertical brick lines, finish the whole project, and then we'll move on to the next. All right, folks, so the outlining is done. As you can see, it does. I'm pretty proud of myself. I think it came out pretty good. A few mistakes here and there, but it is complete. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this door that I purchased. This is one at Hobby Lobby. I've actually seen them a lot cheaper online. If you're willing to get it from like China or something, you can get them way cheaper. I ended up paying $8 or $9 for this one. The entire project cost me $25, and that was a trip to Hobby Lobby, and then I had to go back to Walmart for a couple little things. But $25 in total is what I spent. So now that we're done with this part of the build, I'm going to take this door out, and then we're going to trace it in the center where I want it to actually be. That way we know to not paint that area. So let's go ahead and pull it out. Okay, so we did trace it around. Just with our pen, we traced it all around. Did make a mess doing this. But as you see, it does have the frame attached, so it'll actually sink into the foam board really nice. So, and I scribbled the inside so I know exactly where it is. So these little lines I did that are outside, that'll be nice. They'll just look like minor cracks in the brick, hopefully, when I'm done. So the next step is going to be to actually take our knife. This is just an old box cutter with a brand new razor blade in it. And we're gonna safely, carefully, I can't urge that enough, be very careful with a sharp knife, box cutter, and trace all these lines to give it a little depth. The cut, we wanna actually score it into the foam material. Once we do that, then we'll trace it with a pencil to give it more of a little trench kind of design. So that's the next two steps. All right, so we finished with the sharp objects part of this project. We're done with the knife. I had to trace every single line with the knife, as you see, not too deep, less than a tenth of an inch, just to break really the outer layer. That way you can soak some of that black wash we're gonna do in a little while in there. And I cut the door out so you can see the doors now fits perfectly. Flush. We'll glue that on after the paint and everything's done. We'll glue it on, but I think it came out pretty good for my first shot. So now what we got to do is we're going to take our pencil and we're going to basically trace and give it like a trench. I know I can't do this really well while I'm holding the camera, but we're just going to basically outline everything again, but sink it in with the pencil a little bit so it's a little deeper, and I'll try to do it neater too because I've been pretty sloppy on this being my first time. And I felt like when I was doing some of the cutting, I didn't have super great control with the knife as far as keeping the lines perfectly straight, so I would suggest maybe to use something to run along to keep the lines good. I'm not trying to do it perfect, I just want to see how it's going to come out. I pretty much freehanded a lot of stuff. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do this outline, and then from there we'll start prepping to paint. Alrighty folks, so that concludes I guess what I was considering the hardest part of it, which was the actually cutting the board and scoring it and drawing out everything. That was a long process, but I think it actually turned out really well. So that concludes that part of it. So now all I need to do is paint. So I think what I have to do next is do some black wash. I'm going to put a little bit of black paint and mix it with a little bit of water and use that water to paint all these lines that I just did. We got to get that black wash in there, and this will give it a real depth of color once we go over it with our other colors. So my next step is black wash. Alrighty, so this is going to be the next step, is black wash. So what we want to do is take our black paint. We're going to put some, probably use quite a bit, so I'll put a dab there, maybe too much. This is my first time to do this. So we're gonna try to get a lot of this water here. So we got some black wash here, and we're gonna come over here, and I'm gonna kind of paint it in the cracks. And I hope I'm doing this right. This may be too big of a brush, but from my understanding, I need to really get it in there. And I'm sure some of this can wipe off if necessary. So I'm going to keep doing that, and I'm going to cover the whole thing, just tracing it like this. And then we'll see our progress from there. Alrighty, so I finished the black wash portion, and I don't know, it may be right. I feel like I kind of screwed it up. It just looks messy now, but I know this will be covered up by the brick colors because I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to go back with 2 different tones of red for brick reds. So hopefully this comes out because, oh, and I got to do the gray as well. That's right. The bottom piece is going to be like concrete part of the wall. So hopefully it comes out because I'm using this no matter what. So anyway, we're going to let this dry, and then I'll get back with you when it's time to go with the other paints. Alright, so now, as you can see, I got some paints out. I got the darker red, the lighter red, black and white, and I got a brush. So the gray's drying up really good. I think it's ready to go with the next layer. So my next selection is going to be the reds. I'm going to pick the lighter red, and I'm going to work my way around. And then I'll go in with darker reds, the tones, and I might do a dab of black or white and change it up. So that's what I'll be doing next. Okay, so I finished painting everything, and now I'm going back. It needs a second coat, and it looks a lot better now that I'm covering the strokes, the brush strokes. But as you can see, I'm taking some darker paint now and some lighter paint, and I'm changing up the bricks, and I like this look. It's looking pretty good. Okay, so that's going to be about all I'm going to do for the painting at this time. Cleaned up a few places, changed a few colors. Now I'm just going to take some brown, some darker chocolate brown, and I'm going to paint my door. Kind of make it look a little weathered and old. And that'll probably be about it. Alright, so here is going to be the final product of my work for today. It's not perfect by any means, but I'm very happy with it. I purposely made it look a little weathered and older. I like there's a lot of spots that I could have gotten the black on that I should have, but I like how it came out. I painted the door, it was a chocolate brown, and I dropped 2 drops of black in it to darken it up a bit. So I'm pretty happy with it. Eventually I want to get like a logo for my channel up above the door. And that's that. So let's go ahead and do a little display and see how it looks. This door is for 6-inch scale. So I think it works out really well. So this is going to be my wall diorama. I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely, I guess anyone could do it if I can do it. That's going to be that. This is the Tattoo Toy Hunter reminding you never give up that hunt. Pew, 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 pew. Peace.